management team, the marketing team, the HR team came up with a brilliant idea over the last several months that wouldn't it be great if on this day that you've given everyone off, that the employees would actually, around the world, be willing to give back to the community. And so on June the 1st, around the world, we're going to give close to 5,000 service hours on June 1st to a whole variety of charitable associations, and I'm very, very proud of it. And the employees have really rallied behind it, so it's going to be a neat thing. Well, we've been talking about network transformation for 10 years. But the reality is that, the last, I would say 8 to 10 years, the operators have been very focused on leveraging their earnings that they've been generating from their narrowband TDM voice network to fund the growth that was required, the infrastructure that was required to support the mobile networks, as well as accelerate the pace on broadband access. What we've seen, over the last several years is a lot of new initiatives to go back and now start to replace a lot of that legacy TDM gear, which is going to give them now a unified IP platform, a broadband platform that they can now begin to deliver new services, lower their cost structure, and frankly de-risk their network. In our particular case, when we acquired the Nortel asset, we've got about 7,000 narrowband TDM switches in the network. I think Genband has close to 20,000 network elements, and about 6,000 of those are TDM, which means the rest of it is IP, so we're making a lot of good progress. But in order for them to de-risk their networks today, they've got to start to decommission those switches, begin to put in new IP platforms, and that's been a big focus for us. Verizon's a great example. I mean, we're a big part of their IMS core, where we're doing a lot of the transcoding for both voice and eventually video. So if you think about the way the network works, not only do you have all these different network types, all these different protocols, but you have different codecs in the network that have to be transcoded to now not only work within a fixed network, but now a mobile network and a converged network. So there's a lot of strain and challenges that I think service providers have over the next several years as they really begin to converge their fixed and mobile networks. And for us, we've got a whole product suite of technologies that are independent of whether or not the network is fixed or mobile. But imagine that you can do whatever you're doing today in your office now on a smartphone or on a tablet. And so a lot of the applications that we're bringing to the market today are very transparent, allowing you as an enterprise user to take advantage of all the tools and capabilities that you've been accustomed to in your office to be able to do anywhere you're at in the world. And so that's been a lot of the collaboration. You mentioned some of the over-the-top players. As I mentioned earlier this morning, there's this whole new class of companies like Netflix and others that are entering the market, taking advantage of the network that's been built by a lot of the traditional players. And I think it's going to be very interesting over the next several years to see how the FCC and the policymakers treat that part of the market.